They might not be able to hear you at the back.
They will be able to.
Yeah. Okay.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the wedding of Gillian and Jordan. And thank you all for coming. I've just had a little request in my ear earlier to say I need to do something for the hard of hearing. So. She's got it. You may not all know me. I know you don't all know me, but I'm Keith, Gillian's father, and Jordan's father-in-law now. Before I go any further, I'd just like to, on a little bit of a somber note, to say some people aren't here for Gillian and Jordan's fabulous day, namely Michael Jones, Gillian's granddad, Stuart, Jordan's dad, Gareth, Gillian's cousin, and I can't remember the other two. Hang on. Harriet and Carly, Gillian's friends from a while ago. Sorry, Gillian.
That makes me cry, Dad.
I often thought about the venue that would be Gillian's and Jordan's wedding venue. I thought maybe a castle somewhere, maybe a beach in paradise or something, maybe somewhere in Las Vegas where we visited together 4 years ago. What I didn't expect was a tent in the middle of a field on a rainy day in Carlisle. But it's a fantastic venue, it really is. And once again, thanks all for being here to enjoy it. I don't have many embarrassing stories about Gillian, but I have got a couple. Gillian can be quite forgetful and scatterbrained at times. I'm not quite sure where she gets it from, but there's somebody just over there, an Auntie Hilary, who's very, very similar. When we lived in Castletown a few years ago, Caroline, Gillian's mum, said to Gillian one day, she says, can you run down to Lewthwaite's, which was a baker's down the bottom of Mill Street? She says, yeah, okay, mum. She says, while you're at it, take the dog for a walk with you. So yeah, she took the dog for a walk. On the way back, she called into Lewthwaite's, and she sat there, she gets her cakes and bread or whatever it is. She comes back home, and her mum looks at her and she says, where's the dog? So Gillian shot back down to Lewthwaite's and untied the dog, very bemused looking, from outside Lewthwaite's Bakers. When her and Maddie came on a holiday with us to Twengarola, she managed to misplace the camera. That was never seen again.
It got stolen, didn't it?
Yeah, stolen.
It bloody well did.
You lost it.
I did not.
Her most recent blonde moments may be familiar to you.
Oh, God.
When she created a July 20... Shut up, stop looking
I
at
know
it.
what it is.
When she created a July 2016 calendar for this wedding date, she produced a save the date sort of calendar. And when she handed it out, we noticed that it's got 8 days on it. Every week's got 8 days on it. A Sunday at the beginning of the week and a Sunday at the end of the week as well. And finally, to my knowledge, she managed to produce invitations for her own wedding showing the wrong time. She'd organised with the vicar for it to be 1300, wasn't it?
Yeah, 1 o'clock.
Yeah. So, as you know today, we had to end up being at 13:30. It seemed an awful lot easier changing the date of the time of the wedding than sending all the invites out again. I haven't got any more embarrassing stories to give, really. I'll leave that to Maddie later on. Yeah, I'm sure she's got a couple. When Gillian was young, she always enjoyed dressing up in nice dresses. When she was only about that high, we bought her a Snow White dress. She absolutely adored in it. She lived in it. She even went to bed in it a couple of times. And even when she got to a little bit higher, she was still wearing it. She was like the Hulk by then. Seams were splitting everywhere. She even managed to ruin her mum's wedding dress as well. She was just wearing that and dragging it around in the dirt, etc., etc. But that was never going to get used again, Gillian. No. Then in 2000 she was crowned May Queen in Penrith. I'm not sure how much she actually enjoyed the day, but I've got photographs of her. I don't know if you know the Kevin and Perry, the teenage looks, but she's pretty much looking like them in a couple of them. She's also had some lovely bridesmaids dresses. On 4 occasions now, she's been bridesmaid to Uncle Stuart and Andy, Auntie Hilary and Ramon, Lou and Matt, and Philip and Jules, the most recent one. They do say always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Well, at last, Gillian, you've got the beautiful dress. And let's face it was a beautiful dress until she gave me a hug earlier on and just before we left the hotel. And as she hugged me tightly like that, there was a ting, and the strap just went there. So we had to do running repairs on that, didn't we?
Who needs women when you've got you and Paul?
Well, yeah. So at last, she's got the beautiful dress. She's had to kiss a few frogs on her way, Jordan, to get her own prince.
Where is he? He's still waiting.
And maybe one day she'll finally get that beautiful prince. Keep on kissing, Gillian.
What kind of marriage is this that I'm in?
Caroline and I have had some proud moments with Gillian as our daughter. She went to college and university in Carlisle and got her degree in performing festivals and events, and that was a fabulous day as well. I was just about as emotional that day as well as I am today. She's also planned the majority of her wedding herself. It may not have been planned quite with the military precision that my last family wedding was planned with by Philip and Brigadier Jules there. But nevertheless, it's gone without a hitch so far. So, well done, Gillian. And if anybody's got any complaints, I might stick 2 fingers up, but no, I'll just say it's down to Gillian, everything's down to Gillian. Well Jordan's helping. The wedding was just letting Gillian get on with everything, I think.
What was I supposed to do?
Exactly that, Jordan.
No.
And despite the hiccup on the stag do, you did get back. So you're all right there.
Only thanks to Philip. And for everybody who's on the stag do, raise your glass to Philip Blackburn for getting us all back safely.
So now I've got to say something nice about my new son-in-law.
Reach deep down.
Deep down, Jordan, you're all right. We went on holiday, well, they came on holiday with me and Angie to Las Vegas about 4 years ago.
Gate crash.
Not quite.
We were
but
invited.
They were invited, yeah. But Jordan really was a great guy. I didn't really know him then. I wasn't taking a gamble. He was going to be my daughter's new husband eventually, I guess. But he was a great guy. It was good fun, and he took care of Gillian while we were out there, and we all had a great time. So thanks for that as well, Jordan. And finally, please join me in raising your glasses to wish Gillian and Jordan a long and happy future together. Ladies and gentlemen, the bride and groom.
I need to get that one spot down.
Done. It's time for the man of the moment now.
Oh, he is.
Oh, he's got a mic.
Oh.
Hello.
Can you hear me? Right, I've been contemplating my speech for this wedding because it's been looming over my head for God knows how long. Every morning I've been waking up, I've been generally having a countdown by the wedding Nazi next to me, and it's like, oh, it's so many days and so many hours until we get married, and I'm like, oh, great! I'm just gonna go get the shower.
Again.
So, and like, even like walking down the street, oh, not long now. Cheers. Thank you. Do I have some kind of terminal illness that I don't know? Is even stood a urinal in a toilet and a person I don't even know goes, not long yet. Oh, get in. Like I have been hearing this enough. But generally that's just been, yes. I thought towards the day I was like, I don't know why everybody's asking me if I'm going to get nervous. And then this morning, woke up and my ring piece was going like a rocket. Like, I don't know where the panic came from, but my nephew was a great help by sitting there in front of me going, oh, it's a big day for you, Uncle Trigger. It's a big day for you, isn't it? And I'm like, Harry, leave me alone. I've got enough on my mind. But in general, I'm going to keep it short, I'm going to keep it sweet. Basically, I'd just like to say that I fell in love with Jill probably not the first time that I've seen her. She kind of grows on you. I wouldn't say it was love at first sight. It was kind of an icebreaker. It's like, how long's this film gonna be? I'm getting it done right now. Right, well, okay. Yeah, and I can remember the first morning that I woke up with Jill. And this is modern times, Steve. Get with the program. The marriage was consummated quite a long time ago. I didn't get any applause when I finished that night. It was more of, is that it? But yeah, I can remember waking up in the morning, looking down at the quilt, and looking at the end of the pen going, what is wrong with my feet? It's like, oh my God, what have I done to my toes? And they moved involuntarily. And I was just like, oh my God, I can't feel my feet moving. And then a ginger head poked itself out of the quilt with a pillow stuck to it, with tongue stuck to pillow. And I was like, ah, there you are. Good morning, princess. How are you? I don't know. Yeah. And ever since then, it's generally been a non-stop roller coaster ride of love, misery, then some more love, then some more misery. Not knowing where your bank card is. Not knowing when you're getting your bank card back. Not knowing what's in your bank. And generally just worrying about stuff. But I must say, on a serious note, since I've been with Gillian, I have been introduced to a lot of beautiful, wonderful people. And Keith did touch on this. We are missing a grandfather, my father, and a few other people around these tables. But you've got to be thankful for what you've got in life. And I look around this room, and as I say, I was this nervous this morning that I was going 50 Shades of Grey. And it was just nice to be surrounded by people who I know I liked and loved. And to see all these smiling faces looking back on me, giving me reassurance and words of wisdom, which is invaluable. Basically, I've heard lots of groom speeches where they stand there and I'd like to thank the photographer, the flower boy, and I'm not that grateful to people. Generally, you're being paid to do a job, so get on with it. No, just thank you all for being here. I love you all. I'm glad you're all here to share this moment with me and Gillian. Thank you very much. I am apologising right now for my brother's speech. I hope most of the photos of me as a child, semi-naked, were destroyed in the floods. I don't know whether he's got any, but if you've got like a weak stomach, please leave before you start. It could be quite grotesque. But anyways, please, I want everybody to raise a glass, and instead of raising it to myself and Gillian, I would like it to all raise it to yourselves. Thank you very much for coming. You're only here because you're beautiful people and we love you. Thank you very much. Okay. Here's to you.
Here's to you, bruv. Here's to you.
Fuck off, big man.
Right, now it's to... Oh, you're not born, is it? Let me have me moment to go on. Cotton's Man Sue.
Hey! One for the girls.
So, good afternoon, everyone. Several months ago, during a wedding conversation while we were all at Matthew and Carol's, I said that I would like to say a few words at the reception. As wine had been drunk, the conversation went on to other things, and I didn't think I'd been taken up on my suggestion. Until last night. She asked me how long my speech would take. So, many hours have not gone into the making of this speech, but that doesn't matter as I'm going to be brief. I've written it in pencil as well. As I say, I consider myself to be the matriarch of the family.
Does Grandma know this?
The white old contingent. But in effect, I'm just part of a continuous line of generations. My mum, who's just left, she's 84. Myself, Matthew and Jordan, and now Harry and Bella. And Bella, how old are you?
How old are you?
Bella's 4. So 4 generations were gathered here together, and it was lovely. However, this is not the first time Matthew and Jordan and I have stayed at Dalston Hall. When we lived at Limehouse School, the school was hit by lightning. All of the alarms were sounding and the school had to be evacuated. The fire brigade checked out the building and were not happy about the safety. So after standing outside on the playing field for a very long time, we were all transferred to Dalston Hall to spend the night. The boys and I, the 3 of us, ended up sleeping in a room with a 4-poster bed, whilst their father Stuart spent the night in a sleeping bag, wedged in a doorway between the senior boys and the senior girls, to prevent any fraternisation. And finally, I just want to tell you about the first time I met Jill. And that was at a very difficult time for the family, as Stuart had recently been diagnosed with lung cancer. He was put on a waiting list to have his left lung removed, and we were told to stand by in case of a cancellation at the Cleveland Hospital. We'd arranged a weekend in Edinburgh, and it was typically while we were there that we got the call to say if Stuart could get to Newcastle that evening, he could be operated on the next day. I remember ringing Matthew on the way home and asking him to meet us at home, to drive us over there. Then we got home, to quickly pack a few things. Jill was sitting in the front room with Jordan. He came through to the kitchen and told me they were just good friends. But it was lovely leaving him with Jill as we all drove off. And then subsequently, through Stuart's illness, both Jill and Carol were brilliant. Stuart used to have both of them giving him lifts when he could no longer drive, and I know how pleased he was to be able to be at Matthew and Carol's wedding, and how happy he would be to see Jill and Jordan here today at the beginning of their married life together. So I'd like you all to raise your glasses in Stuart's memory to cheer on the bride and groom.
Stuart.
Let's do it to Dad.
Alex, turn your phone off. But, sorry, my speech was supposed to finish before, and I wasn't cutting you off there, Maddie. There's a lot been said about my dad and stuff like that, but there's another person in this room who I have a lot of gratitude for, mum's new partner, John. Could you please stand up and take a round of applause? This is a fantastic man. Me and Matthew owe him a lot for making my mum so happy and stuff like that. I just think you needed mention before.
Maddie came on.
I'm sure Maddie's going to do fantastic. Now, next on the microphone, Maddie Chisman, come on down!
I'm looking at
Give me a second.
Come on,
On your lightweight.
Like tons of mush now.
You look great behind that chandelier.
Yeah, Maddie, get on the front. I can't see it.
I'll stand here. I'll stand here. Okay. Are you alright, Jill?
I could have told you that months ago.
I'll do your eyelashes in the toilet after.
Okay, where's Lauren?
Yeah, but he did that makeup again. Jesus Christ. Okay, so hi everyone, hi. So I'm Maddie, I'm Jill's best friend and bridesmaid here today. So I've decided to say a few words for Jill, so here goes. So I'd like to thank everyone for being here, and most of all I'd like to thank the bridesmaids. We're all sort of scattered around for helping us to put up with Bridezilla. Jill, that's her name, Jill, sorry. So, me and Jill, how we became friends. So, we went through school together at Ullswater and Penrith. We weren't friends through school, we just really knew who each other were. And just after leaving school, we went on a girly holiday, and I joined that girly holiday last minute. Kayla and Jill were going on the holiday together, and I joined it. And the holiday we went on was just after we'd been through quite a tough time, losing quite a close friend of ours, Harriet. I'm sorry, you're bad enough. Harriet, who I know would have loved to have been here today, and definitely would have been here today, and would have loved to have seen you look so beautiful, Jill. But I know she's looking down on us, they're just here with us in spirit. So, from the holiday, as I was saying, we don't know how, and we don't know why, but me, Michaela, who's sat right there with the phone filming us. We don't know how, we don't know how, and we don't know why, but we became friends. And we have been the best of friends ever since, the three musketeers, as we call ourselves. From moving away, we've all had our times where we've all moved away for a period of time and come back. We've had times where we haven't spoke for weeks because life just gets so busy. But then we're just fine when we do speak, and I think that's a true reflection of our just unbreakable bond as best friends. So when I say we, I'm speaking on behalf of me and Michaela, who sat down there quietly and won't stand with me. So I've stood on my own today because she's like pregnant and won't get up. So I'm stood on here. So I want to tell you a story about Jill.
Yeah.
So I've got one written on here. Maybe not tell that one. That one's worse. Is there anything you haven't done? Jesus Christ. If anyone wants to hear this one, just come to me later, I'll tell you. It's pretty crude. So this one I can tell. So the story that Keith was saying before, when we went on holiday together. So we went on holiday. And one night, it was Keith and Angie, and myself and Jill, to Costa del Sol in Spain. We all had a takeaway one night. We all stayed in, ate the takeaway, there was a lot of food left over, and we just put it in the kitchen, and that was that. Following night, myself and Jill went out and we got absolutely trashed. And we came in at like 5 or 6 in the morning, we'd missed the kebab shops. Jill was pretty hungry, she went straight for the kitchen, and I went upstairs, and I was like 5 or 10 minutes, put my pyjamas on, and I came back down to find Jill had put like this leftover carbonara in the microwave for 30 minutes. It was asleep over the microwave like this. So after dragging her off it and watching her eating, it was not attractive. But like, obviously since then, it's like,
I mean, it explains a lot, the microwaves and the brain cells, so, you know, for that Jordan, I think it's done some damage. So from now on, I think, Jordan, you should stick to the cooking in your new married household. And I think a lot of people here today, I don't know if you have, I have, I've tried Jordan's cooking, and you would agree, he's an absolutely amazing chef. So we know that, yeah, he's an amazing chef, he's absolutely brilliant. He had a microwave meal for him once, he's like, well, it really well. So Jill's going to be looked after, we know that, and she's going to be fed well. What does she say? One good thing about being in the police and being a police officer, background checks. I'm not allowed, but I typed your name in. Caroline, Jill, you're all right. It's fine. When I put that surname in, Matthew, 7 pages. Carol, we need to talk. Don't worry. So, you both accepted each other for who you are, your flaws and all. We've all got flaws, we know that. But Jill, you found the one. You found him no matter what. And that's what love is to me. You found him with flaws and everything. However, I've seen you kiss a few frogs, like your dad said before in the past. It's been over 10 years we've been best friends for. I've seen a lot of frogs before Jordan came along. And he is your prince, I will agree. But on that note, if there's anyone here today that's still got anything belonging to Jill, anything you want to, front dog here, anything you want to return, just now's your opportunity because she's taken. Can you explain the handcuffs? I thought I only had handcuffs. Gillian, Jordan, on a serious note, I truly wish you both a lifetime of happiness. Happiness, the kind that comes from loving one another and not just yourself. And thank you for letting me be such a massive part and standing in the front of that church today. It will be an honour for myself and for everyone in this room here today to witness your journey together. So I'd like everyone in the room to raise a glass to the absolutely beautiful couple, Gillian and Jordan.
Gillian and Jordan.
Cheer Jordan.
Welcome, Maddie.
You just called me an arsehole.
Yeah.
Fully deserved.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's this man.
So drunk now.
Right, is there a barman somewhere?
Testicle of truth. Where are you? Like, Rubik, that's it from Rubik's Beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, friends of old, friends of new. I hope you're enjoying yourselves, and I'm sure you'll agree that everything has gone well so far. Unfortunately, you can't expect 100% perfection, which means you'll have to suffer me for the next 45 minutes. Before I carry on, I'd just like to thank the bridesmaids for performing their role so gracefully and for looking fantastic throughout the day. I also thought that Harry and Bella did a brilliant job. So I might be and I must say, it's been a wonderful day thus far and a very emotional wedding, even the cakes and tears. Now, there comes a time in life when you meet your one true love, your soulmate, the person that when you blink you would miss them for too long, and the person that you never want to let go of. That for my brother, Jordan, happened 34 years ago when he met me. with that, I guess I should introduce myself. For those who've not already had the misfortune of meeting me, my name's Matthew, and I am Trigger's brother. It has to be said, Jordan was a weird-looking baby. In fact, we were at the shops once when a woman at the sales counter said he was the ugliest baby she'd ever seen.
Was that last week?
My mum was fuming. She was pacing up and down outside the shop for 10 minutes with me and my brother until a policeman came over and asked if everything was alright. My mum told him what the woman inside had said and offered to look after us while she made a complaint to the manager. What he actually said was, "You go and give him a piece of your mind, madam. I'll hold your monkey." Now, being the best man today is obviously a great honour for me, but also an honour for my brother to finally admit that I am the best man. This says it all. And for me being the older brother, contrary to looks and follicles, yes, the older brother, it was my job to introduce him to the world, to guide him through life, to be his mentor, and give him a chance to learn from my mistakes.
What planet were you living on?
Now, as Maddie is testament to researching 7 pages of, I've made some classic mistakes in my time. But you're not here to judge me today. So here's a few of my brother's most embarrassing moments. I've never known anyone to flood a house, upstairs and downstairs. Lose a set of keys, the replacement keys, the replacement keys, the replacement keys, the replacement keys. To get bitten by a police dog, man, you research that one.
All right, okay.
That could be interesting. I'm glad my grandma's not here.
Me too.
Lose a mobile phone. And this one was interesting. To take a dog, Rommel, to the shop, go inside, buy sweets, leave the dog tied up to the shop outside, and come home, and then we're all like,
Where's the dog?
Where's the dog? You've got so much in common. The first person I've ever known in my life to develop a fear of broken biscuits. No, there's a phobia. There's a phobia.
It just only making cheesecake.
Doesn't like it, honestly. The first person to lose money on holiday in Ibiza. Not just some money, but all of his money.
Oh.
And then have the dad wire money back to them. You didn't lose that money, did you? Tim, you didn't lose that money, did you?
You can loosely describe it as spending frivolously.
But all these accolades went to my brother. Now, let me tell you a little bit about my relationship with Trigger. We first met early in the 80s, back in a time when spam was simply canned meat. Before our first meeting, I was quite a happy, chubby, single child with no plans for a sibling. But as he got bigger and louder, I spotted an opportunity that I might have a great new toy to play with and ultimately blame stuff on. I dread to think on how many occasions you've been my fall guy, easel and punching bag. But as we got older and started having the same interests, we very quickly learned that we had the same things that amused us. The first time this became very apparent was one day in the school summer holidays back in 1989. I was having a ratch through some cupboards in the house and I came across a really, really old tape recorder of my dad's and some of his old audio cassette tapes. Now, being 9 years old, it took me all of 5 seconds to suss out to get this thing working.
Stop making him be embarrassed, please!
And to my amazement, listening to these tapes, it was of a live, comedy show. And I listened on my own for about 15 minutes and then I went to get Trigger. We both listened to a whole tape and were in absolute hysterics, crying our eyes out at the jokes we could understand. Over the coming days, we told our friends about the hilarity we found, and naturally, boys being boys, everybody wanted to come around and have a listen. Well, what can I say? This summer holiday was a proper classic school summer holiday. Throughout the remaining days and weeks, we found even more tapes, and they were all of one comedian. Now, whenever possible, we'd have secret comedy club sessions in our bedroom with about 10, 15 lads from around where we lived. On the crappy old cassette player, learning new words, jokes, songs, and lots of interesting facts about split asses. In fact, my brother and I had found a new hero that summer, comedy god Roy Chubby Brown. Now, I couldn't ask for a better sister-in-law in Jill, and I sincerely apologise for the awkward last name you're now hopefully going to be using for the rest of your life. I told Trigger just 2 weeks ago he should really use Blackburn.
For credit reasons, probably.
You never know. When I booked the bus for today, I think he's running the foot. He asked for my last name, and I was like, White Earl. He was like, boo? Pardon? Who? When we went to Newcastle, the lady behind the counter, what was she like? What's her name? White Earl. You? No.
You're a big duck, you know.
And it's just one small struggle that you have to battle with daily now that you're a member of our family. That, along with Trigger's dribbling and narcolepsy.
What do you think Jill suffers from?
Wookieitis. But I'm fully confident, Jill, that you'll thrive being a white earl, and you should be used with your embarrassment now. Now, before I finish, I'd like to give my brother some advice on what people thought were the ingredients to a long and happy marriage. So here are a few. Trigger. Set the ground rules and establish who's boss. And then do everything she says. Secondly, never be afraid that Jill will leave you. She spent time training you. She's not going to throw that away lightly. Thirdly, never forget to say 3 little words every day for the rest of your life.
You're right. No,
you're right, dear. Whenever you're wrong, be a man and admit it. Whenever you're right, say nothing. As they say, a man who gives in when he's wrong is a wise man. A man who gives in when he is right is married. Jordan and Jill, I wish you all the best in your life together, and I love you both from the bottom of my heart. My mum let me say that. Now, if you could all enjoy it, definitely enjoy it. If you could join me in a toast to some very important people, without whom today would just not be the same. I'm sure all of us at some point will pass them and exchange a few kind words. Ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to raise your glasses and say a toast to the bar staff. And I suppose we'd better not forget the new Mr. and Mrs. Whitehall. So if you'd like to stand and raise your glasses and join me in a toast. You do not marry someone you can live with, only someone you cannot live without, and may your love be modern enough to survive the times and old-fashioned enough to last forever. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. and Mrs. Whitehall. You're supposed to be standing, you two.
Party on!
Hey!
gentlemen.